What is up, guys? Ninja Nick back with the next round of this league challenge at Flipside Gaming in Clifton Park, New York. We got my boy Xavier here on the left with Miraidon versus myself again on the right with Lost Box. I did get up paired this round. Although this is a 3-round league challenge, we will discuss more about that in the next round. But 3-round league challenge with a top cut. So I start the Dragonite here. Lovely. And if you could see my hand right now, it's just all switching cards. I think I have 3 switch cards, an escape rope, yeah, a Pokestop, and a super rod. So my hand is completely dead and unplayable. Savi does get a Miraidon and a Zeraora, and then uses the second Miraidon to get a Mareep. Does even get the Squawk ability on the bench here, so he can Squawk and Seize this first turn, discarding his hand to draw 6. Can only use that on the first turn, but he does have that Path to Peak in hand. He kind of wants to conserve that, but I think he's going to Squawk and Seize anyway, just because it'll get him where he needs to be a little bit better. He will have to ditch that Flaaffy in order to do that, though. So it looks like he is just Ultra Balling. Gonna thin the deck a little bit more before that Squawk and Seize, I think. So, of course, 2 rounds in a row, lose the coin flip. That's okay. I usually don't mind going second with Lost Box, but with this start, I really would have liked to go first. Although going second, Miraidon, if they're playing the Zapdos, which I believe Savi is not playing, if they do have the Zapdos, it buffs your damage output by 10. So you could just turn 1 Miraidon, go Blar, and knock me out and win. So that's a thing. So, I mean, technically it is better that I went second, but we are going to fleet-footed for 1 card, Escape Rope. We're thinking about playing the Path to the Peak, but Savi's realizing if he does that, he can't Squawk and Seize, so he's just going to do that instead. He's like, I really don't want to get rid of the Path against you, but I feel like I have to. And I said, yeah, it makes sense. You're looking for your energy generators. And he's like, I still didn't get one. Poor Savi, I'm sorry. But he did Escape Rope into his Free Retreat Zeraora. Does find a second Path to the Peak, so really great for him if I'm able to find, like, Water Energy Greninja. I can't use it, so I draw for turn, and it's Lost Vacuum! Yay! So here is Pokestop. So I'm like, Savi, this better be good. So I flip my top 3 cards. Cramorant, Comfy, go into the discard pile. We get another Lost Vacuum. And I'm so upset about it, I forget to even put the Lost Vacuum in my hand. He's like, Savi's like, you get that. I literally just show him my hand. I'm like, this is bad. This is the worst hand I've ever drawn in my life. And I realize I say that all the time, but, like, look at this thing. So, I mean, I feel like I have to Lost Vacuum my own Pokestop just to prevent Savi from getting any electric generators. But he hasn't used his V-Star power yet, so I do use the first Lost Vacuum to get rid of his Forest Seal Stone, and then the second Lost Vacuum to get rid of my own Pokestop. Feel fine getting rid of a switch cart there because, of course, my hand is still just 2 switch cart and escape rope. Look, man, I don't know what to tell you. This is why I lose games, okay? I lose games because I'm either really stupid, like in round 1, or I lose games because of exactly this. I lost top 4 of a cup in combination. Like, I drew like this game 1, and then I was just stupid game 2. I Greninja'd turn 1 when I should have just hit with Cram and not waste my, I had to put a Pokegear into Lost Zone with my own Lost Vacuum to do that, and then I had no follow-up the next turn. So why I didn't just attack with Cram, I'll never understand. So Savi is going to Ultra Ball here, getting rid of a Lightning Energy, as well as a Judge is going to get that Flaaffy. We will be able to use that Dynamotor to put some energy into play this turn. Savi can attach to the Raikou for a turn to be able to attack, And even gets this research here as well. Maybe we'll find some electric generators. And get an energy onto one of the Miraidons on the bench with the Flaaffy as well. And draws a hand of energy and supporters. Cool. So gets the energy that he needs and just swings with the Raikou here, I believe. Has he used Fleet-Footed, actually? I don't know if he's used Fleet-Footed. I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm counting them like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. So 120 to my Dragonite. I'm alive with 110. And I draw, and it's boss's orders. So I'm like, well, how do I stall? I bring up Flaaffy and pray? I mean, it's best of one. What can you do? Oh, and I forgot to start the timer again. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter this match because it's already over. So he just Arvins for the escape rope to be able to win the game. And we do decide to replay the match as well. So Savi does end up taking that win, but and I do write it down here because, as I always say, you gotta make sure you record who wins the match. But we are gonna actually replay this game out. So we even Savi even asks us to reflip a coin. So now I'm gonna actually start the round timer. And my hand, much more playable this time. Savi is able to start the Raichu. He can fast charge if he has an energy in hand, because he is going first. We did reflip the coin, and he still went first, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So we use our first Miraidon to get second Miraidon and Zeraora. We're going to use second Miraidon to get Raikou and Mareep. That's pretty much what you want to have in play if you're this deck. I think the only difference is if you're the... if you had Zapdos in the deck, maybe get that instead of the Zeraora so that you can one-shot the Dragonite, but he doesn't have that in the deck, I don't believe, so perfectly fine just sitting on that. No Lightning Energies in hand, surprisingly. I forgot to flip over my Comfey, so I'm going to do that now. He's just going to put some Bravery Charms on his dudes, making them thick as possible. Thick with 2 C's. And he could put a path down as well if he wants to. I think that's good. You could put the path down to prevent my Radiant Greninja from drawing me cards. Will help stunt my growth of my turn 1. So you're just hoping that I don't put Pokestop in play, I guess, and then just pass. So I will draw for turn. My first turn of our redo game. And I have Chorus's Experiment. I'm going to use that to look at the top 5 cards of the deck. Put 3 in hand, 2 in the Lost Zone. And there's double Lost Vacuum. So we are going to get rid of Super Rod, Mirage Gate. It's a little too early for those cards. I'd rather keep the double Lost Vacuum to race to the Lost Zone count a little bit faster. And I can also use it to get rid of Path to the Peak if I do get Greninja Energy off of some of these Comfeys here. So we're going to see if we're able to piece anything together. We do use our Battle VIP Pass. We're going to get Cramorant Comfey. We already have 2 in the Lost Zone. We have 2 Comfeys in play, and I believe at least 1 switching card. So the likelihood of being able to attack with Cramorant is high. So we use our first Flower Selecting. We're going to get rid of the 3rd Lost Vacuum. Just seeing all my Lost Vacuums turn 1 this game. Yet there are some games where I never see Lost Vacuum and I play 3, so I don't understand it. It just happens that way sometimes. I do play the Escape Rope here. Whatever Savi puts up, I can either 1-shot or 2-shot. Doesn't really matter. Well, I guess I can't 2-shot the Miraidon with the Brave Charm, but he's going to put up a Raikou. That will allow him to fleet-foot it on this next turn, so not the worst case scenario. I get rid of the Manaphy off of this flower selecting. We do get a second Battle VIP pass, so now I can get my Greninja in another Comfey, or I can get Greninja Sableye. It depends on what was in my hand here. So I do go Greninja Sableye. That way I have the Sableye already in play for the next turn. One of the mistakes I used to make a lot with Lost Box is that you get like 3 Comfeys in play and then never have room on the bench for the Sableye to get benched, and then you're in the mirror and your opponent just spreads damage counters all day long, not taking any knockouts to prevent the Sableye from ever coming into play, and just take all 6 prize cards at one time, which is pretty fun, not gonna lie. But so I'm gonna attach, return, and retreat. We've not used our Greninja yet, but we still don't have a way to out that Path to the Peak, so we just used that Battle VIP pass just to get those Pokemon in play. Retreat into the Cramorant and Spit Innocently. That will set up that Raikou V, and the best follow-up on this next turn will be to attack with Greninja as well. So even if we're not using Greninja's ability, we can still use it to attack potentially. We do have at least one... Or no, we got rid of our Mirage Gate. I still think we have a Mirage Gate in hand, though. I don't remember. But we could attack with Greninja, knock out both the Raikou and the Flaaffy at the same time, take 3 prize cards. And then win off of the Charmless Miraidon and the Zeraora, maybe? Would be pretty good. So here we go, Electric Generator. We're gonna look at the top 5, and 1 Lightning Energy. Nice. Where do we put it? So obviously, like, 1's not that good. Where do I put this? He's gonna put that on the Miraidon with the Brave Charm. That is gonna be a little tricky to knock out. It does have 270 HP, so I might need to put online a Dragonite at some point during the game. So I'm gonna have to be careful about where my Mirage Gates go. So if I like have to use 2 to charge up a Greninja or something, it might be hard to set up the Dragonite later. And I definitely need to get an attack off with the Sableye in order to soften it up enough to make for that Dragonite to be able to do its thing. So he attaches for turn to the Raikou, retreats into the Zeraora, uses the Flaaffy just to put, looks like an energy onto the Miraidon here. Or maybe he's choosing elsewhere. Yeah, he's choosing the Miraidon. The thick one. And then just a pass, so it's looking pretty good for me. I've already done 1 attack with Cramorant. And I do have a couple Psychics in hand. So, Courses Experiment, we are going to look at the top 5. We'll loss on the Comfey for sure, but what else? Psychic Energy is fine. I already have 2 Psychic Energies in hand, so I don't need the 3rd. It's only useful for the Comfey for the most part, so you just play 3 to make sure you can find them. We do play the Pokestop, so we can now get around that pesky Path to the Peak. Use Greninja's concealed cards to draw 2. And we do draw Mirage Gate. Now we have 1 Mirage Gate in hand. I don't have any Water Energy in hand, though. I do have 1 in the discard pile. So hopefully the other Water Energies are in deck. But I do really want to find a Water Energy or another Mirage Gate before I use the Mirage Gate that I have in hand already. So we Pokestop, mill 3 items, and I'm like, that's what we want to see, right? So Pokestop basically being a draw 3 there. We do get double Mirage Gate now, so we can use double Mirage Gate here. But again, that does make it hard for me to be able to set up Dragonite later, so Not quite sure if this is the correct choice or not, or if we should have just waited for a future turn to attack with Greninja. But we are going to Lost Vacuum. Now that we've used our Pokestop, we're going to get a couple more cards into the Lost Zone. Oh yeah, because I didn't have enough for the Mirage Gate, and I'm like, Nick, I'm screwing up again. So I Lost Vacuum, and I'm like, then I use the Mirage Gate. Because I don't know, I was just in such a brain fog that day. I was just assuming I could do all of my things, like I had the right counts in the Lost Zone, and I just didn't. Like, I was getting ahead of myself too much. I'm gonna have to nip that in the bud for Pittsburgh for sure. So we do set up the Sableye here as well, since we do have the ability to use the Mirage Gate in that way. Might as well. And then we are going to attack. We're going to knock out both of those Pokemon, as I said before. Not too bad of a start here. We're going to take 3 prize cards. Now, maybe I should have kept the Flaaffy in play and then put the 90 on the Miraidon with the Brave Charm in hindsight. Because again, that would really help out with that damage output. I already have 1 Lost Vacuum in the discard pile and 1 in the Lost Zone, so I have 1 Lost Vacuum left. I can't use that on both the Raichu and the Miraidon, so I might actually have to hit through that high of an HP count. But at this point, my mindset is I'm just going to go Sableye and go Burr. I do have another Sableye on the bench as well, so even if one of the Sableyes goes down, I'm just 1 Psychic Energy away from being able to attack anyway. And a couple of cards in the Lost Zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, still need 2 more cards in the Lost Zone. So I do get Ionode to 3, so this is the hard part about taking those extra prize cards when I didn't necessarily need to, is that now I can get Ionode to small numbers. So sometimes you do want to just wait to take prize cards with Lost Box if you think you can afford it. Path to the Peak comes out as well, and we are going to see the Miraidon take the knockout, doing 440 damage because of weakness. A little bit overkill there on that Greninja, but we will promote our Comfey. We do top deck the Escape Rope, so should have an easy way to move this Comfey around. Even get the Battle VIP pass off the top 2 here, so here is the Escape Rope. That will force the Miraidon to the bench. It does reset its attack. But my plan is, of course, to attack with Sableye anyway, so it doesn't really matter what's in the active for my opponent, but that 1 Miraidon is the only Pokemon that could have attacked for Savi. If I had maybe a switch cart instead, that might have been a better option to go for. And just leave that Miraidon in the active spot, not letting it attack, unless Savi had the switch cart in hand, maybe. He would have needed like switch cart energy. And yeah, I'm just double checking, counting my Lost Zone yet again, and I do have 10 in there, so we are going to go for the Lost Mine, and we are going to knock out the Mareep on the bench, because now we can go to even prize cards, and I think all the rest of it should go to that Miraidon with the Brave Charm, but I put it to the other Miraidon instead, because I'm like, I'm just going to boss and knock that out. Not sure why I was thinking that the one that's going to be able to attack right now is going to be the one with the Brave Charm. It would have 230 HP remaining, so I could just, you know, again, attack with Dragonite, and that would do it. So yeah, we are back on even prize cards, and Savi's only relevant attackers in play are the ones that do have that are 2 prizers. So looks like we are going to retreat into the Miraidon with no energy on it, and that is because there is a switch cart in hand. Savi is going to plan on using that switch cart to heal 30 and make it so that damage isn't super relevant. So had we put that damage on the Miraidon with the energies on it, Savi would also be required to attach for turn and hit a double energy off of an energy electric generator in order to get to this position to heal that damage and still have an attacker. So yeah, putting it on that Miraidon without the Brave Charm on it was a huge misplay. It looks like we are also going to see a Professor's Research. But it looks like Savi finds another switch cart anyway, so he could have just risked that he would find another switch cart off of this research and healed the 30 off the Miraidon that way, but you'd still be within Dragonite range even with the 30 heal, so... And here is the electric generator hitting 2 energies, so we're going to put 1 on Miraidon and 1 on Miraidon. So 2 on the same Miraidon. And since I did get Iono'd, my hand is only 2 cards, or a couple of cards. I did not get too much off of that last turn, I don't believe, so my hand is not looking quite the best. We are going to get knocked out here. And again, that Miraidon will not be able to attack next turn, but it could always retreat into that one without any of the... that one without the Brave Charm on it. So that could make it easier for me to attack. But yeah, I do have a few cards in hand. Double Forest Seal is not very good when you don't have a V Pokemon. And I don't really have anything I can potentially dig out here. So I'm thinking... Go for the... Oh, I remember what happens here. I don't know if I do it this turn. So I do use the flower selecting first. I get rid of the heavy ball. I still don't know what my last 2 prize cards are, but I know that if I have 2 cards left in my prize cards, that there's no relevant Pokemon in there. At least at this stage in the game. Now I'm thinking, do I want to nest ball? Because I don't want to put a 2-prizer into play to just get knocked out. I do have an escape rope. Now, do I retreat and hit with Cram? Or do I use the escape rope? And I'm going to use the Pokestop here. And I actually find 2 pretty relevant items. The Comfey doesn't matter. And this might allow me to find a Colress's Experiment here. So I'm going to use this Pokegear I found off of that Pokestop. Of course, find nothing off of that, unfortunately. But it's fine. At least we tried. And yeah, then we do go and retreat and attack with the Cram here. I do think that that is correct, because that forces Savi to have to retreat. And it will put one Pokemon with lower HP into a higher HP one that still doesn't have a Bravery Charm. So, not the worst case scenario here. But we do have a Switch Cart in hand, so we can use that. That will heal 30, leaving this Miraidon with 80 damage remaining left on it. Or, no, yeah, 80. Almost puts 90, but it's 80. And then we switch into the other Miraidon, and I think, do we just hit for 440 again? No, we Iono here, don't we? Yeah, so this is a decision. Does he want to boss knock out the Sableye, or does he want to Iono me to a smaller hand? And I think Iono is always the correct choice here. And I'm like, come on, man, my hand of entirely item cards. So Savi doesn't get anything that he can use this turn, just a few supporter cards. Flaaffy that has no Mareep to go with right now. And we are just going to hit for another 440 onto a Cramorant this time. And I'm going to promote, I think, do I promote a Comfey? Now, my hand has a Psychic Energy in it. And the only way to reliably retreat is to use that Psychic Energy. And oh yeah, so it was Psychic Energy Pal Pad. And I Pokestop and find a Switch Cart. of course, getting rid of the Colress's Experiment that I wanted to keep for myself. So in hindsight, I could have promoted the Comfey, used it, and switch carded into the Sableye, but, you know, in hindsight, now we use the POW pad here to put back in double Colress's Experiment. Maximize the odds of finding another one of those out of the deck. And now, basically, my game plan is spread with Sableye or take the game off of Dragonite, which would require me to find my 1 Water Energy and my Mirage Gate. Now, I have not been able to check my deck in a little while, so I need to have those pieces available in the deck. And I'm just getting wrecked by these INOs right now. So I spread the damage here for some reason. I think I should have just put it all onto the Miraidon with the Bravery Charm. Because if Savi wants to attack again, he wants to retreat, right? And if I just, like, draw Clara, I win. Because he'll retreat into that Miraidon with the energy. And, take that knockout that way. Zeraora doesn't really do too much to me. Nothing relevant. But I am spreading it between the 2 Miraidon just in case. Let's see. So I have 110 on it. I'm forgetting the Bravery Charm for some reason, too, when I'm doing all that. I should have just put it all on the Brave Charm Miraidon. So I have 120 on the 1 Miraidon. And then the Brave Charm Miraidon has 110 on it, which leaves it at 170. So yeah, again, not quite sure what I'm going for here because that takes, like, Cramorant out of the equation off of Clara. If I even were to be able to find that. But I guess we can Sableye off of Clara. We just need a switch cart, which I do have in hand, right? So Savi's thinking about Pokestopping here. And yeah, he's just gonna take this knockout here. Because he was able to retreat into his Brave Charm Miraidon, which should have 90 more damage on it or something. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do here. I do have, I think I have Drapion and Dragonite in hand right now. I do have a switch cart. So I'm thinking about using the Pokestop, but I really don't want to. Because what if I mill the Colress's Experiment that could get me there? So I get rid of Boss's Orders. And here comes the Pokestop. 2 items and a Colress, so of course we didn't get the Colress. So I have 10 cards left in my deck. I have like a 50-50 shot of hitting the Mirage Gate. I do have the Water Energy in hand. And I'm going to Pokegear. And I'm going to look at the top 7. Wait, what? What am I doing? Oh, I'm playing the Pokegear as if it's Colress? What? Am I stupid? Oh, wow, I'm real I cannot explain to you what... Again, this match doesn't matter. This isn't for the tournament. And I'm just entirely stupid. Well, anyway, I don't have the Mirage Gate in my deck, so I lose anyway. I have no more ways to attack in this deck. Yeah, and I literally just put the... What? What? Yeah, no, I definitely did not have this game won anyway. So, anyway, so I guess if that Poké Gear was a Colress, then I could have potentially found it, but, no. If that Poké Gear was a Clara, well, yeah, had I done... So the way I could have won this game is if I put all of the damage on this now active Miraidon, found the... I'm still flabbergasted that I used a Poké Gear as if it was a Colress. That's stupid. But yeah, I Mirage Gates of my prize cards. There's literally no way I could have won that game. And that one wasn't for the tournament. I just bricked super hard for the one for the tournament. So yeah, I can't tell you what was going on in my head that day. But it wasn't thoughts, I'll tell you that much. So God, I've never seen somebody on my channel misplay so hard like me. Like, legitimately. Like, I honestly forget that the camera's there. It's not nerves. I'm just stupid. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing ever. Wow. Yeah, so I just got 2-0'd by Miraidon, one of my better matchups. So, as always, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time.